Yo, 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 everybody. What is up? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, the What Now Cairo podcast. For all those chiropractors out there that are running your clinics day to day, thinking, man, what do I do now?
Golf.
Yeah, you book a tea time. Book your tea time. Dude, actually, though, it's been the highlight of my summer is golf. Summer back to school, big time for us pediatric prenatal offices.
Yeah, I was curious, like, is August, September trending in like big months for y'all?
Yeah, October is usually our biggest month, but back to school, yeah, dude. Like, I mean, I think we're like already close to more new people and more visits than we did all of June
There you go.
and July. So yeah, things are trending up at Empower. The summer slow is officially over. We're busy, which is good. Back to school action. But
Dude,
yeah,
you think you like golfing in the summer? Wait till it's like 70 degrees and you're not sweating over the ball
that's
on
what
the
I'm
third
saying,
hole.
bro. I might get a push cart.
I mean, it's in my agenda is to get a push cart.
Well, my thing is, I think I'm going to get the membership at Bridalwood. For those of you guys who don't know, Bridalwood's like just a big neighborhood. It's like $100 a month, and you could play $20 after 2 o'clock, and I'd be
That's
working.
basically when you play.
Yeah, and I always play like around like between 2 and 4 is like when I'm trying to tee off, because like I got stuff to do. But dude, you got to for $20, dude, you can play 9, and then you don't have to get in all 18.
I will say, when we played in Lubbock at the Rawls course, which is Texas Tech's golf course,
Wow.
it's very like link style. And we walked. It's like a very walkable course, and that was super enjoyable. Just felt, yeah, it's great. Everyone goes to their ball, like you're not like driving back and forth,
Yeah.
getting your steps in. It wasn't as, this is gonna sound bad. I thought it was gonna be like exhausting,
Yeah.
but it's really, I mean, I think I got like 10,000 steps in.
Yeah, but you're not hiking.
No,
You're walking. I mean, if you're smashing, you ever watched like the UFC, like when they say smash?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like, anyway,
Some
we're
some
getting
of
off
these,
track.
some of these public DFW courses are not walkable though, or not
Yeah, that's
walkable.
true.
Like Champions would be tough. It's a long course from a track side of things.
Yeah, they need to work on some things. Dude, all right. So
Not
today,
golf related.
yeah, not golf related, but if you're looking to play
Y'all,
more golf in your practice, today we're going to help you do that.
and
Or just free up your time, dude. I mean, I think this is the biggest thing, like, that people need to think about. If you're too busy in your office, if you feel like you're the one like doing all of the work, this is the episode that you're gonna want to revisit.
I also too like, I know I talked a little bit. I went through some EMDR therapy earlier this year, and a big thing that she mentioned, just from like a happiness that she finds a lot of entrepreneurs do, is like they don't play enough, obviously, and obviously that's like a common thing in therapy. Which I was always like, I'm not gonna go like sit in a sandbox and like. So I was like, what does that mean? She was like, well, what did you like to do like late middle school, early high school? It's golf. So,
Wow.
boom.
What did I do late middle school, early high school? Video.
Yeah. I mean, that's another one. She was like, typically it's video games, golfing.
Yeah. I like golf. It's been fun. But all right, guys. So today, enough of the golf talk. But if you're looking for ways to actually get out of the office a little bit more, if you're like a one-man show, like if you're like a you and a CA kind of office and you're trying to scale, or if you have a big team and you're too involved in patient care, i.e. me, where like all the things as the business owner aren't getting done because you're just like seeing a bunch of people. This is the same conversation. It's applicable across the board. I like love whenever things I can just like rinse and repeat and plug back in because it means it's scalable, it's repeatable. That's how really I think how it's kind of going to work. So today we're going to talk about the 4 types of leverage. I first heard about the 4 types of leverage from The Game. Is that Hormozy's podcast? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, from Alex Hormozy. And Alex Hormozy was talking about the 4 types of leverage that he learned from this guy, Naval Ravikant. It's a concept and an idea that's applicable across all businesses, across really any organization, but we're talking about it in the chiropractic standpoint. There's 4 main types of leverage. You've heard about this, right, Zach? Yeah. So there's 4 main types of leverage, and we're going to go through each one of them and just talk about them a little bit. But the 4 types of leverage are people, systems and technology, capital, and media. So, in terms of people, what are you doing to leverage team and people, Zach?
Yes, it's been a big top of mind discussion at our office. So the last 2 months, we've actually been a two-man team, two-man and woman team, a woman. So I've had my office manager Piper and then myself, and it's been great. Like things have been super efficient. Things aren't getting dropped nearly as much as they used to. She's been a huge addition to the team, and I think I've shared that she's moving. So she's going to Illinois at the end of September. But she's a unicorn in the sense that she, like, her genius is claims, it's following up on super bills, all of that. Like she loves doing the back end things that most people, at least I would think, hate doing.
It's just not
I
pure
know
genius.
I know I hate, like it's like low, low, low. But that's her favorite thing. And as we're moving into more personal injury, we're in Network with Blue Cross Blue Shield now. She's going to start handling all of that from a remote. So she's basically going to be our virtual office manager. And so we're going to leverage that and then have a CA. So the CA is going to run the front desk, and that's going to be their job. Whereas before, we had someone in office that was kind of a CA, kind of an office manager. They were trying to wear too many hats, and multiple things were getting dropped. So that's how we're going to leverage people, and then obviously bringing in chiropractors and things like that.
Yeah. Real quick to circle back, leverage. Let me look up. But Zach, how would you explain leverage?
I mean, leverage from like a very easy standpoint is like, I think of it more as like a teeter totter, right? So if you have more leverage, you're the heavier person weighing the teeter totter down. And to create opposite leverage or to create that change, you would need more on the other side. So that's how, like in a very simple standpoint, I would look at it.
So here's like the definition, like the official definition. Leverage describes an advantage or power to influence decisions or outcomes, often by using available resources strategically. So that's what leverage is. It's really just resourcefulness, using the things that you have to be resourceful to create a more desirable outcome. It helps you be more efficient. So all those things. So people is one of the levers that you can pull in your office because they're a resource, they are an asset. And if you put the asset or the people in a strategic position, they work better. You are able to do more with
Mm-hmm.
less input, and that's where you're going to get leverage. So it's basically develop or delegate is what we're talking about, right? And so the way that, I mean, team is probably the biggest lever that you could pull because you can get exponentially more work done by having more team available. I mean, dude, I remember whenever I was taking my own phone calls, and I love talking on the phone. I really like to talk to people, but like just fielding all the like, hey, can I move my appointment 10 minutes
Yeah.
back? Like kind of phone call. Like it's just not a high leverage opportunity for me, right? Like I can be doing an adjustment at that same time, which is a higher leverage because not everybody can adjust. Yeah, team is one to think about that. Like we're always thinking about that. But I think the most important thing is really developing team. It's one thing to have like a player on the court. It's one thing to have a player in your team, but it's another one to have the good player on your team, right? And so what are you doing to like develop your team?
Yeah. I mean, I think, we both had
Hi,
our office,
Morgan.
we both had our office managers go through training with Bailey. That
Bailey
was one
Slow.
way. Yep. And then another thing is really like getting them. For me, it's not necessarily like developed from a skill standpoint because again, like I'm not good at claims. I'm not good at like following up. So like I don't necessarily have the skills to do that. But more so from like a mentality and a mindset. So how can we work on that through the different books we read, the media we consume? If we're an office that people are coming to for health and wellness, like what are we doing? Right. So I really encourage them to take care of themselves and things like that. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I put Logan through Bailey's office manager course. If you don't know who Bailey was on our show a couple episodes back talking about how to make $500,000 without ever adjusting anyone. That's because she's not a chiropractor. She is, I don't want to use the term layperson, but like she's like a not Cairo who owns a clinic. And she's really good at team systems, operations management, all that stuff. She put together a course for office managers. It's great. Logan developed a ton for that. And it's the same thing like with, it's really just getting your team properly educated to then be able to make the decisions that you would want them to make for you, basically. And that's really how you're going to leverage them, putting the right people in the right seats.
Mm-hmm. That's like another thing that we do quarterly is we do our red light, green light, yellow light, which I got from
Hmm.
Matt Morris, which I think, shout out to him. He laid a great foundation too. But like what that does from right seat is green light are tasks that you really enjoy doing and you're good at doing. Probably for most chiropractors, that's adjusting, that's exams, whatever. Then you have your yellow light tasks. So things that you are either good at doing but you don't like doing, or things that you like doing but you're not good at. And then there's red lights, which are things that you're not good at and you don't enjoy doing. And so really making sure that everyone is in the majority green light situations. Obviously, we always have to do things that we don't like doing, but if we don't like doing them and we're not good at them, that's when it's time to find someone else.
Yeah, and so like the other type of leverage, and besides like, or the other type of team, I think that you could hire. I think of like team like in two ways. I think of like in-house team and then like team adjacent. So these are people like the bookkeeper that you hire out. Like you don't have a full-time in-house bookkeeper, but like I hired out my bookkeeping because I suck at bookkeeping. They're way better at bookkeeping. So I'm leveraging the like somebody else's business. So their team is doing the work for me. This is a great example with like Jeremy and Patch because they're our CMO, our chief marketing officer, fractional CMO. So like they're not full-time for us, but whenever they work for us, they do all of our marketing stuff. But there's like 6 or 7 people. They do SEO, they do Google ads, they run all my email campaigns, they do blah, blah, all of these things. And you can hire these like team adjacent plugins, like plugin team, bookkeeper, CMO, tax advisor, all that stuff to take a lot of work off of your plate. And I think that that's like a really great way for like the small business owner because you can get the same amount of work from a team member for a fraction of the price. And usually that's like all they're doing. So like my bookkeeper's only doing bookkeeping. So like I don't have to train her. She's got way more expertise. You get a higher level of performance, I think, for a cheaper price when you hire these like adjacent plug-in team members. I think whenever you get like really big at scale, you could obviously bring them in-house like all the time. But I don't need a bookkeeper doing the books all the time. But that's a huge leverage because like really our team, we have like 6 people in-house, but then we have another like 5 or 6 people adjacent to the team, right? So our team is actually pretty big and it helps it to where I can, just be Dr. Spencer, business owner Spencer, focus on my leadership and my golf swing.
Yep, which is important.
Yeah. Okay. Next type of leverage is technology and systems.
Mm-hmm.
So technology and systems, this is like your software. These are your SOPs and your systems and your processes because you can have great people, but if they have no direction, they have nowhere to go. You can have the fastest car in the world, but if it doesn't have a road to drive on, then it ain't going nowhere. Right. So what we need to do is actually get these rock star team members and give them the instruments to play. That's their systems, this technology and stuff. So what are y'all doing in the office, Zach, in terms of your systems, in terms of your technology stack, all of those things? Where was your biggest lever that like really saved you a lot of time?
I think a big one that we've utilized, and I know a lot of people have talked about this, but as we're recreating our SOPs and getting ready to hire, now that we're on a cloud-based EHR system that can be done at home or on Apple products, so we filmed a lot of our SOPs on Loom, and so that way, if there's a question, you can go in, watch a quick 2-minute Loom video on how to check someone in, schedule them out, yada yada yada. And so that's been huge. Piper learns something and I need to know about it. She can record a Loom, vice versa. So I think Loom has been a huge tech stack for us. And I know we've gone in pretty deep lengths about like Cairo HD, Go on
Yeah.
Rebel, HubSpot. So I don't think we need to touch on that too much. But Loom has been a game changer, not just from a progress exam standpoint, but also from an SOP and system standpoint.
Dude, I think your tech stack, where tech is at right now, it's so cheap and it's so accessible, but it does so much, especially like with AI coming out that like I've been saying, dude, whoever can use AI the best to create the most human experience will win. And I think that Empower, we're doing actually a pretty good job of that. But one of the things that we just did to switch and get some more leverage and make our systems more efficient is I got rid of all of our paper intake forms and I put them all on iPads. And so we have all Apple everything. So everything is cloud based and they all sync up. Like whatever is on computer number 1 is also on computer number 2. They're carbon copies of each other, like to the point where like the mouse is the same on the computers and like everything is the same. The iPads, same thing. They're exact same in the same case, different colors. So we know what room they go in. But one of the best things that we've been doing that saved us a ton of time and has like improved our clinical accuracy just now as a team of doctors is we got this app called Patient Notes. It's an AI scribe. There's a bunch of different ones. Jane actually has a native one, but I was looking and I like the Jane AI scribe. I think it's accurate. I don't think it works as seamlessly as it could. Just like make every single part available to AI, not just like one section. It's like add an AI section and then you still have your spine notes. And so that means you still have to like go and manually enter all these things. Like just let AI run the whole show that I tell it to. Anyway, all that being said is what we do now is intake forms go on the iPad and we have the Apple Pencil so we can write on them literally just like they'd be on a clipboard. And so they pull up in the iPad. In the background, we open this app called Patient Notes and we hit record. And what it does, it's a HIPAA compliant AI scribe. So what it does is it listens to your video or it listens to your recording and it creates a transcript. From that transcript, it then does whatever you prompt it to do. There's a bunch of default ones, but we prompted it to create like a SOAP note. And so basically what it'll do is it'll give a summary of the patient visit. It'll give the most key clinical insights, and then it'll give us like red flags, yellow flags, and technique considerations because I uploaded a lot of our technique manuals and stuff on like what we should do. So kind of give you a guide there. From that, you can generate a school note. You can generate a OB letter. You can generate a letter to their primary doctor. You can generate a narrative report that we all love to write in school. All of those kind of things. And it's literally you just press start and you press stop, and then you copy and paste it back into the chart. So you get way more accurate reports. And then it doesn't have to be this thing where you have to go and like type up notes based off of the things that you wrote down. And so then the iPad is listening, so I can confidently engage in the conversation with the person sitting in the exam chair. And I don't have to worry about like, hold on, let me write that down really quick. I can just take more notes like that I want, but I know that the software is taking notes for me. And we just included it in our informed consent saying like, hey, we use AI to take notes. Are you okay with that? I mean, it's part of our data collection stuff. So you have to agree to it. So that has been a huge game changer because then we can take those same notes, we put them into our doctor's meeting notes. And then the doctor's meeting, we just go over those. So then now all the doctors are briefed at length on all of the patient interactions. So then as a collaborative care office, we all know exactly what's going on for each person.
Nice. That's great.
So that has been huge.
Yeah. I can see that being really big. I mean, for a one doc office at the moment, like I don't have doctors meetings. So
well, you don't have doctors meetings, but it's the accuracy of your notes and the fact of that now you can just sit and communicate versus sit and have to write and then do all of those things. That and then it's digitized. So like you save all the time of printing out the paper. You save the time of having to then scan the papers, upload them back into the file, shred it. We just drag and drop now. Like you just drag it over from the iCloud into Jane, then you delete it from iCloud. And then, so it just sits there for like 2 minutes. It's not stored there.
Nice.
So everything's all secure. And then what else was I about to say? Oh yeah, dude. Then you save on paper and ink. Like, I mean, ink be expensive. And then like too, like in your patient experience, you don't hear the printer like the whole time in the office, you know, like it creates a little more cohesive an experience.
Thankfully, our music is loud enough being a non-PEDS office that I never really hear the printer.
Our office is super loud too, but it's just another thing that decreases the stimulation. The papers pile up for us, so that's why.
Yeah.
What other software are y'all using? I know you're using like HD and stuff, but do you have anything like cool and like innovative that you feel like you're using?
No, we're working. That's been like a big goal too. I know we've talked at lengths on the podcast about like you can almost get too many things going on.
Yeah.
So really, like Cairo HD has enabled us to keep it to like just one tab, two tabs open at a time. Sorry about the pups.
Those are big dogs.
They're some big boys.
Let the big dogs eat.
Collective 160.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, whoever's out there, I think that using AI is like huge.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, is like I've made it a point where between our SOP manual and then our SOP manual being uploaded to ChatGPT, like if you have a systems based question and you haven't asked the SOP manual or ChatGPT, like I should be the third, if not fourth, now that Piper will be like our office manager person to be asked, which could sound like almost like rude at a point, but like if I'm with patients for 3 hours at a time, like I don't have the ability to be interrupted for 5-10 minutes to teach you the small task that should be
Dude,
announced
I
at the
think
beginning.
I think that's a huge thing that chiropractors need to get over is we need to get out of our own way and let other people actually who are better at our jobs. There's some people that go to school literally for business management and their whole job is literally to like learn SOPs, manage teams and all that stuff. Like, dude, you went to school to crack backs, like lack of a better term. You went to school to detect and correct vertebral subluxation and clear interference from the nervous system. But dude, I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like let people who are better at it do it, right? Like you wouldn't go yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. But
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
we
systems,
can
dude.
we can talk in lengths, and I know we're wrapping up here soon, but like we're I think that's something that's held the profession back for so long is that we've just had every chiropractic office is just a mom and pop shop, and
I,
like we're not
it,
allowing these big brains that didn't go to school to, remove subluxation, you know, determine our businesses.
yeah, I think that yeah, that's a good episode, honestly. But I yeah, it all that being said, dude, like a huge game changer for us in our office, whether you're a solo doc or whether you are running a multi-doc practice, putting your intake forms on the iPad and recording your visit with patient notes, it's $15 a month, and you get unlimited recordings. HIPAA compliant. It will. I mean, a big thing for me is like if I get audited, like I'm always like audit wary. I know it's not like a big reality for a lot of people, and especially as a cash based office, like where there's really no fear of an audit. But I like to know that all my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. But I also don't like spending 6 or 7 hours doing that a week. Just to have all of those notes there is really
Yeah.
nice for $15 a month, dude. For somebody a month, $15 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's 50 cents a day.
Yeah.
50 cents a day to not do notes anymore. And we had like I mean, our note system was pretty efficient. Like it was taking me like maybe 30 minutes a day, but now it's like literally seconds, like
Yep.
truly seconds.
Kyrie's
Even
team
if,
makes it
even if you
very
copy
simple.
and repeat like your notes and stuff, which I know like whatever, but it's just to have good, accurate note taking as a doctor team. It's gonna be better. It also record your team meetings and stuff. So like you can record your team meetings and have it take notes on your meetings and really cool stuff. Okay, that's the second type of leverage. That's systems and technology, right? Make sure that your systems are efficient so the path forward is clear. The next one is finances or capital. So one of the big things like where people can get over leveraged in their business, especially when you're starting up, is not having like the cash on hand to be able to do things. And so leveraging it's basically getting other people's money and using other people's money instead of yours. And this is where like a lot of like really big name businesses like really do that. I don't think in chiropractic it's necessarily like going to be the biggest lever that you can pull is like using other people's money unless you're like franchising like Alejandro and Emily Elias. Like if you want to say you want to get an office, well, you can use their money and their systems to open up your own office, and you don't have to come up with the 10, 15, $20,000 it would take for you to open up your office and then worry about, are you gonna be able to pay it back? You can use their money, their systems that have a guaranteed proven way to get you $1 million practice, right? And then you just pay that back later after you have an asset that's generating cash. It helps you not lose opportunity. What are your thoughts on that, Zach?
I mean, I think there are ways, there's line of credits, there's loans, there's equipment loans. I have no experience in that, so I'm not going to necessarily speak on it. But I know that that's like kind of that next tier, I would say, from a leverage standpoint.
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing that I really like in my practice is I really like consistency and I really like the sure thing that like I know my practice is taken care of. So like having a savings account that I could then leverage for capital, like basically, you know, say I have $10,000 in my money market account, I can then go and use that instead of spending my $10,000. I can go and get a $10,000 loan against that
Against it.
instead of having to come up with another $10,000 or pull it out of my savings account. So like we're about to go and get SoftWave. SoftWave is a pretty expensive investment, and since we're running the whole wellness center thing, I think that SoftWave as a separate business, not as an addition to our chiropractic office, like really kind of fits our model. So it's with the whole wellness center thing. So we're going to go and we're probably going to add that later on in the year, or that's at least my idea right now. And instead of having to go to the bank and put my personal credit online or like put my business up as an asset against it, I just have this savings account that I can take a line of credit against. And the only stuff that I take from it is what I need. So that's just leveraging capital. It's really, really applicable in like real estate and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Same thing in your chiropractic business. So if you wanted to buy the place that you were renting or build a building for your office, well, that would take a lot of cash. And so having different ways to have access to capital is going to give you more leverage. You have more buying power. You'll be more of financial weight in the market.
we could always have Sir Shannon on to discuss utilizing lines of credit and things.
Yeah, it's obviously not financial advice.
Yeah.
It's just idea. Leverage is just, it's how do you get access to other people's money that you don't have to come with on your own, because you would have to then generate your own dollar to then spend your own dollar, whereas in you just get somebody's dollar that they have and then you figure it out later. At least that's kind of where I'm at. Not financial advice, but okay. Then the last type of leverage is called media. So this is just your evergreen content. So it's basically the media outlives you, right? And so the idea behind media is Zach is the media king compared to me.
So I mean, that's
You be on TikTok, bro.
I do be on TikTok.
Follow at Dr. Zach Thompson on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm just blabbing on there. It's just fun.
But yeah, so it's basically though, like, I mean, you're sitting here, we're having this conversation, but then other people right now in this moment are watching your TikToks from 2 years ago or, whatever. And so you're still having multiple conversations at masses. So you're having one conversation to a million people versus one conversation to one person. And so your media continues to live on and have the conversation without you. So people are getting to know you while you sleep. What are you guys doing for media?
Our goal is 2 posts a week on Instagram. Typically, we like those posts to also go on YouTube. But my Google SEO team, they run the YouTube side of things. So he just takes whatever we post on Instagram, should be going on YouTube. Because YouTube is the second biggest search engine, which is always crazy. Always crazy to think about. So
I learned a lot about golf on YouTube.
Right. But I mean, now people are searching on ChatGPT, which is interesting. I haven't like consumer wise, other than like hotels or trips, that kind of thing. But it's weird to think that there's someone searching on chat, like best chiropractor near me.
Dude, I don't use chat. I use Perplexity just because like chat has to get updated. And like I'm aware that chat has to get updated with its version of the internet. But Perplexity is living like when I looked up the definition of leverage, instead of going to Google or Safari looking it up, I just typed it into Perplexity and then it distills all that information for me. Software as leverage. But yeah, dude, I mean, me and Caitlin were looking for somewhere to go to brunch the other day, and we were like, hey, find me the best like brunch place that's not like big chain near me. Dude, we found this place in South Lake that's bomb and had like really great ingredients, seed oil free, like really cool stuff. And it was great, dude. And I mean, I find myself more and more using Perplexity at least.
Just gonna gatekeep the brunch spot.
Forget what it was called. I'm not gatekeeping, but I'm forgetting. I have to ask Kate. But it was fire, dude. And like they had like shrimp and grits and beignets, and like I'm so sus about Cajun food in Texas.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Okay.
So I'm about it. But
yeah, we used chat when we went to Lake Tahoe back in May. Like that whole trip was basically playing through ChatGPT.
I think it's funny how like chat is like referencing chat, like just, oh yeah, like I was talking to chat, and like people kind of know what that means now. It's starting to become like a household verbiage. I still don't know personally how reliable ChatGPT is in terms of like searching and researching and stuff. I know they have a deep research thing.
It's like the base. So I'll like for Lake Tahoe, like I used it as the base, and then I would go vet it via like and this is how like people find you, right? They maybe find you on ChatGPT, and then go look at your Instagram, go look at your YouTube, whatever. And so I know a lot of people like will just focus on one as opposed to how can we get this, like how can we take care of multiple medias? And I think that's where leverage comes in, is what can you utilize, who can you utilize to get your messaging out there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the thing is like the more messages that you have out there, the more that these AI engines are going to be able to find your stuff, because they're crawling everybody's content for keywords. And so the more keywords that you have, the more relevant you're going to be in their searches. Like, yeah, dude, I mean, I have had I've spent a lot of time talking to Perplexity about golf, and like researching my irons and like just different kind of things like to learn, because I'm a huge learning guy. I love to learn, but I'm not just learning about that. I'm learning about, what's the new Apple products coming out going to be like, and how can I use those? What's the average market price of I asked this the other day, like what's the average price in my market for a chiropractic adjustment, to figure out where my price tag compared to everybody else, demographic research and all of those kind of things. Like that's huge. Like where I used to have to do the like Googaloo, where you'd have like 16 or 17 pages open, and you're like, I used to do this. I'd have like a bunch of different tabs open, and I would like take notes on like, okay, this and this and this and this and this, like the information I wanted from those tabs, so I wouldn't get lost in it. And I mean, now it's like literally right in front of you. So I guess I'm old school. It's aging myself.
Yeah, you are old school. Old school.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's me. That's me.
Cool.
Yeah, right, dude. 33 minutes. Okay, so 4 types of leverage to recap: team, systems and tech, finances, and media. And so the basic premise is you need to have a well-trained team using efficient systems funded by other people's capital that is deployed by media. And that's pretty much like the stack. And so a lot of times you don't have to think about media and capital as much as you do team and systems. And for us, the biggest decision of, do we need to focus on team or do we need to focus on systems, or are we in a develop or delegate situation? Do we need to develop a system for the team member to do a better job? Or do we have too much work that our team members, that we need to put somebody else in that seat to do that? And that's pretty much it.
Nice.
That's like the forever wheel that we are turning with Empower, just to continue our growth and to continue to have like the same experience as we see more patients. Because as you get busier, you don't have more time. You just have to have more hands and how to be more efficient. So,
Yep.
Got anything else?
No, man.
That was good. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the What Now podcast, your favorite podcast every week. See you guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Go low.